What's up, y'all? I'm uh I'm listening to R. Kelly Double Up album. The champ is here. The champ is here. Double Up album. Dope. R. Kelly, favorite artist of all time. Love his music. I'm vibing. Just trying to stay interested, stay in the vibe of doing things. You know, being about my business. There's really nothing I can do this week, so I'm just gonna chill, try to maintain my little bed that I got outside, and do what I need to do. You know. I don't know what's going on with this fucking music. I just one song played, not another song is not playing. Nothing's playing. I guess I can only do one song. This fucking phone is cheap. You know, it's not allowing me to do what I want to do. So I guess I'll talk to y'all. What's up, y'all? It's MrMaskman / Mr. Love Man / Cat Daddy. Cat Daddy. What I'm trying to do in the next couple of weeks is secure my money so that I have the funds. To have a place if I can, you know, get approved for everything I need to get approved for. You know, just trying to get all those ducks in a row. Trying to making sure all that shit can happen. You know, want to do that. Want to make that thing pop off. You know, this R. Kelly ain't playing. But yeah. I'm just chilling out. Trying to wait till the library opens so that I can spend the day there. Like I said, I ain't really got no more biblical kind of shit. I'm just really hanging out, really trying to make myself get to the finish line, get to the promised land, man. I can't believe that the lady that I wanted to see is taking a week off. right after I get out of the fucking hospital. Man, that really grinds my gears. But you know, people got to do what they got to do, man. You know, I guess they can't always be working. So I'm just gonna put everything on pause. I'm not gonna try to get my money. I'm just gonna. The only thing I'm gonna try to do this week is maybe like tomorrow. I'll try to get a checking account. I'll try to set up the appointment for next week, and then I'll, you know, try to get it the following week, and then I'll go to the Social Security office, set everything up, and be done with this not having access to my own fucking money bullshit. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's almost 9 o'clock. Oh yeah. I guess I kind of know what I want this video to be about. The Eddie Griffin, DJ Vlad interview. The Eddie Griffin, DJ Vlad interview that just got released a few weeks ago. Now Eddie Griffin did an interview with DJ Vlad like 7-8 years ago, but Vlad, for whatever reason, never released the interview. But then like 3 weeks ago, just out of the spur of the moment, he released a full interview, and I finally had a chance to check it out last night. It was a very, very good interview, and I do not understand why Vlad waited so long to put that interview out in its entirety. You know, probably because the shit that Eddie was saying back then, you know, if it had been released in its entirety, that interview would have went viral. That interview would have went viral, and it would have really, it was like, in today's terms, what he was saying back then, it's not that shocking now. But even today, even today, that video is like restricted. When I went to click on the video, it was like some viewers may find this content offensive or whatever the fuck YouTube has to say, you know, stuff like that. So even today, like, the content of what he was saying was like that, you know, it was that gripping that the censors of YouTube still, like, you know, are blocking the access to who can see it. So it's like Eddie is like he really put something into that interview, and I can't like go blow for blow with everything that he was talking about, but I would just want to say, like, Eddie Griffin is like, you know, he's a really, really intelligent dude, man. I'm not on with everything that Eddie says, but like Eddie Griffin is like, and I appreciated that he didn't stand, you know, in submission to Dave Chappelle. You know, I appreciated that too, like, because back when that interview came out, that was back when Cat Williams was like, you know, Chappelle is better than me, and then, you know, everybody was saying that Chappelle was the best. You know, I think that was after Patrice had died, and you know, everybody was like, you know, recognizing that, well, Patrice is gone, so I guess your Chappelle is the best. You know, but I appreciate that Eddie was like, nah, man, I'm the best. You know, I appreciate, because Eddie is cold, and you know, Eddie can, you know, Voodoo Child was, you know, Voodoo Child was like something to contend with. And like, I put Voodoo Child up against anything that Chappelle has ever done. So as far as funny for funny, funny for funny is like Chappelle ain't never done nothing that's funnier than Voodoo Child. And I'm not saying that Eddie is funnier than Chappelle. I'm not trying to draw a comparison between the two, but I appreciated that he stood on his square, as a funny MFer, as a funny person who can stand, against anybody in comedy. So I really appreciated, the caliber of stuff that he was saying in the interview. He brought up Suge Knight, and I'm trying to, like, once I get myself together, I'm trying to be the new Suge Knight. Not Suge Knight in terms of the alleged stories of beating people up or anything like that, but Suge Knight in terms of a dominant, imposing figure that makes shit happen. But he brought up Suge Knight. He was like, yeah, Suge Knight just sort of fell apart after Dre left. He was like, no. After Dre left and Pac died, it was like, no. When you have 17 MFers trying to take down your business, it's hard to maintain what you're doing. You're doing business as usual, and you got 17 people trying to take you down. What can you do? It's like, it wasn't just Suge Knight. It was Cash Money, No Limit, Murder Inc., Death Row, all those people got taken down at around the same time. It's like the whole recording industry and everything, got broken apart because the powers that be, big business, didn't want to see black men with all that power and all that wealth and all that money. It's like streaming music has existed since 1999. Streaming is not new. Like, ever since Napster came along, it's like we've always had like streaming services and all that shit. But the fact that CDs and records and all that went away, that they made the culture where that sort of thing don't sell no more, I believe that was very much a blow against black men, because black men were making so much money, selling records and produce. They said, we can't let those Negroes have all that cash. We can't let those men have all that power. We gotta make it to where it's all in playlists. It's all where people don't buy. There's no physical property anymore. We got to get rid of all of that. The blockbuster killers, instituted something where they didn't want to see, people with all of that power. Black men had too much power back in the Death Row, Murder Inc. days. Say what you want about Irv, but Irv was a very and I'm not an Irv expert, but Irv was a very competent, very intelligent businessman. And like, I heard a rumor that there was supposed to be like a partnership between the three major black record producers, and somehow they all ended up getting sued or indicted and all of that shit. Like, you gotta understand, like, money is power. The Illuminati is, or at least it did exist. It did exist. I don't know if it still does, but the Illuminati is not no nefarious group that's trying to control every section of your life. The Illuminati created money. Look at the dollar bill. The dollar bill has all kind of symbolism on it. It has all kind of writing languages on it. They invented currency. Now, money existed before, the Illuminati created the dollar. I don't want to say that they created money, but they created the modern monetary system. They created the dollar. And the dollar freed you from a lot of things that the church, the Catholic Church, was trying to do. Like when you had your own money, when you had cash, when you had that dollar, that thing that had fucking ancient, Egyptian symbols that could resist this spooky priesthood bullshit. When you had that, the greenback, it really transformed the world and it changed everything. And shortly thereafter, the greenback, cash money, coming into existence, and the country, forming a constitution, is like slavery just started to like disband like all over the world. Like America wasn't first in getting rid of slavery, but money came into the equation, and then slavery started to go on away, and then the world started to get developed, and roads and railroads and paved streets and the automobile, and everything started to happen, and everything started to be developed, man. We gotta get like, I don't like business as the dominant force. I don't think business should be the dominant force in the world anymore. It's like that time is over. We need to get into humanitarianism, doing things as part of a human first protocol. Like what does human beings need? What is best for mankind? But as far as business, such as it is, such as it should exist, it's like religion and business need to be put in their place. They need to be put in their proper positions and where they rank as far as this time in human history. Okay, religion is entertainment and, soothing. That's what religion is. Religion is not science. Religion is not, you actually talking to Father God, whoever that is. Like, I don't even know if I've communicated with Father God. And I've had experiences with two deceased men, a vision from God. And I'm not even sure if I've had, direct contact with the white man with the white hat, Mr. Magic Man, the Lone Ranger. I don't even know if I've talked to him, because, there's just a certain thing that God has to do to protect himself, to run a universe, to keep a universe going, to stay out of the clutches of Lucifer Morningstar. There's just a certain way that he goes about things, and there's just a certain way that he does things. And you don't know if you are talking to him, you don't know if you're not talking to him, so you just have to take it on faith. And that's what religion is. Religion is faith. And if you want to engage in a faith system, a faith enterprise, then you need to go into religion. You need to go into the church, and the church needs to stay in the faith entertainment soothing system. If you want to be soothed, if you want to go somewhere, ease your mind and, sort of entertain yourself and pray to who you think is listening to you, then you go to a church. If you're scared, go to church. You do that sort of thing, and you engage in that sort of activity, and you have that sort of a relationship in your mind and with the universe and with whatever can perceive what you're putting out. But religion needs to be taken out of civilization and society because it doesn't have a role in impacting our lives. We as human beings have to have a hedonistic lifestyle. We have to engage in hedonism. This whole thing about hedonism being some big orgy where people are a bunch of sex addicts and drug addicts is something that needs to be taken out of the equation. It needs to be written. It needs to be erased. Hedonism is a pleasure-based lifestyle. Being a hedonist or engaging in hedonism is having a pleasure based lifestyle. That's what hedonism is. And that's what we all should be about. We should all live our lives in a way that is pleasing and pleasurable to us. We shouldn't have this, well, Jesus wants me to do this. I would like to listen to some good music, but I'm supposed to listen to gospel music all the time and praise music, so I can't listen to what I want to listen to. My flesh, my flesh. One of the things that's big in the church, if you're not a person who goes to the church, they say, my flesh wants me to do this, my flesh wants me to do that, and I can't listen to my flesh. Nigga, you live in your flesh. Your flesh wants to eat. Your flesh wants to breathe. Your flesh wants to see. Your flesh wants to hear. You know, your flesh ain't trying to hurt you, man. Ain't nothing trying to harm you in your flesh, and this idea that your flesh is working against you and your flesh is ruining your relationship with the so-called God, Abraham's God, not the God of Dick Gregory, the universal God, but the Abrahamic God. Man, I ain't trying to listen to that bullshit. I ain't trying to listen to that bullshit, man. The flesh is good, and the flesh should be, tantalized. Your little. I don't want to talk, explicit because there are young children around, but the flesh needs to be satisfied in every way that the flesh needs to be satisfied, and there's nothing wrong if you do things intelligently. If you do things as a responsible adult, you can please your flesh. You can relieve yourself. You can have releases and climaxes and everything you need to have, and ain't gonna be no bad about it. It's like you have to enjoy yourself. You have to enjoy this life because the reaper is busy. The reaper is busy, and the reaper got to be put in check. So what I'm trying to do is just formulate my mind and keep my mind going and really be about the big business crusher, the Catholic Church disbander. I don't think there's a whole lot of forces. I mean, I would like to come up with a third force, but you got the Catholic Church and big business and whatever other. If you want a third name, just for symmetry, the wicked ones. You got the Catholic Church, the OG Catholic Church. You got the evil priesthood. You got big business, whatever that is, whoever that is, trying to make the world terrible, trying to enslave us all, or have us run around like regular retards, supernatural forces that's trying to dominate your mind. There's a lot of things you have to do to protect yourself and keep yourself, sane, and keep yourself together and keep yourself strong. I really, had, some difficulties, and I had some problems, and I'm working through them, and I'm coming out of my problems, and I'm coming, to a point where I'm just trying to get someplace comfortable. And I'm really just trying to keep my mind together, keep my soul together, keep my spirit together, and you know, really express what needs to be expressed. But you know, Eddie Griffin is a wise man, but I wish, what I wish? I wish Eddie Griffin would kind of just like stop just being a comedian at this point. It's like he has so much. He has so much knowledge of different things. He has so much, intelligence. Like it's like at this point, you really ain't doing nothing. Just being a funny man, just ranting at the sky. It's like if you, I don't want to like challenge Eddie. I want to like make it's like consider my ultimate OG Eddie Griffin. Consider my ultimate OG Dick Gregory. At some point, Dick Gregory was a funny man, and he could have advanced and he could have grew as he could have grew as far as being funny. He knew how to be funny. He knew how to tell jokes. He could have done that for 50, 60 years. He could have been like Red Fox. But he was like, man, I know so much and I'm so, wise. It don't make no sense for me to put all of what I'm able to do in just the vein of comedy. I got to step out of this and I got to step into another arena and do something else. And he decided that he wanted to be an activist. He wanted to be a writer. He wanted to be, something more. So I would encourage Eddie to like, man, it's time for you to just be more than a comedian, man. It's like listening to that interview and looking at what YouTube still did to it in 2023, how they're still restricting what you said over 7 years ago. A video that Vlad didn't even have the courage to put out in its entirety back when it could have went viral. That video could have had millions and millions of hits if it would have been put out when it first was recorded. Man, that video could have started a firestorm that could have possibly gotten, if the whole video would have came out, the whole clip, the whole 47-minute interview. That could have started a firestorm that could have got Cosby where he was, exonerated. That all kind of shit could have happened if that information had been released. So I just think Eddie needs to think, more Dick, or if you don't want to be Dick, be DL. Be like DL, Eddie, man. It's like, man, it's like you're needed. Like, one thing I say a lot, even though my name is even though my name is Edward J. Anderson Jr., and I say the JR stands for Joker, not Junior. Even though my name is Joker, I'm not a comedian, and I never will be. I'm not interested in telling jokes. I'm not interested in being somebody who you can write off as a joke teller, as you can write off these just, I call them these just jokes. These just jokes. Like, I don't want to be a these just jokes guy. No, I said it and I meant it. If I say it, I mean what I say. Don't give me those these just jokes. These ain't just jokes. This is what I feel. This is what I think. This is my opinion. I may not always be serious. I am an artist, and there is some artistry. There is some craft to what I do occasionally. But for the most part, I'm trying to convey some sort of message, and I'm trying to communicate some sort of position. This is not to be written off as just entertainment. It's supposed to affect you. It's supposed to move you. It's supposed to make something happen. And like, it is like, do you want to make a difference in the world? It's like, do you want to be more than somebody who tells jokes? I don't know how old you are. I imagine that you're probably like in your 50s. Like I don't think you're older than Eddie Murphy, but I imagine like you're 50 something years old. I can't look it up right now, but it's like, man, It's like, come on, man. You can't keep going the same way for your whole life, man. You can't keep going the same. You can't keep doing the same thing, man. It's time to upgrade. It's time to transition into something else, man. You'd have made enough money in comedy, man. You've made enough money. You've done enough. You've proven that you're one of the greatest, one of the funniest men to ever live. You're proven that. You solidified that. Now it's time to get into all that other stuff that you know about, all those other stuff that stuff that you was talking about, you know, with the pyramids were made by quartz, and if you build it with this, you know, you can build a pyramid in this way. Like, all that shit, you know, all that information that you got, all that knowledge, is like, it's time to like become a new man. And I know the interview is old, but it's like, the interview is just case in point. It's like this funny money podcast nonsense, man. It's like that shit is beneath you, man. This shit is old, man. It's just old. This is the Maskman talking now. If you don't know anything about this new iteration of MrMaskman / Mr. Love Man / Cat Daddy, MrMaskman is Two-Face and Edward is Harvey Dent. Edward is the real regular, you know, nigga, and MrMaskman is, you know, James. MrMaskman is, you know, something else. MrMaskman is a supernatural force. This is MrMaskman talking. This is not Edward talking. Edward, you know, you want to see Edward, what Edward does, how Edward gets down, check out Edward J. J-A-Y-E Anderson, A-N-D-E-R-S-O-N, capital J, capital R. Check out that channel. Check out those videos. Check out Set It Off. Brittany, I love you. I love you, Brittany, forever. You know, so check that out and see what that's all about. But Eddie, man, it's just time to upgrade. It's just enough. You are too smart. You are too wise. You know too much. You're doing the community, you're doing the world a disservice by not stepping up and being a leader. It's like this whole Tariq Nasheed leaderless movement nonsense. It needs to die. It needs to go away. It's like we need actual real leadership. We need people who are thoughtful. We need people who are intelligent. We need more D.L. Hughley's. And I'm going to say something, and not in this, and I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to say something. We need more Charleston Whites. We need more Charleston Whites. I mean, everything that Charleston White says is not serious. Everything that Charleston White says is not, you know, to be taken to heart. But the fullness of Charleston White, the wholeness of Charleston White is a benefit to the community. Charleston White is one of the best things that is one of the best personalities that has come out in like the last 15-20 years. He's one of the best personalities that had come out of social media, you know, in a long ass time. The things that Charleston White says, the way that he says it, the firmness in which he stands his ground and speaks his opinion and gives his perspective, the intelligence that he intertwines into his commentary it's amazing and it's beautiful, and you know, it's incredible. And I think Eddie Griffin could learn a lot from Charleston White. I mean, Eddie Griffin needs to, like, TK tried to do something with Charleston White, but Charleston White is too much like he is, and TK's laid back player business side and whatever the hell Charleston White does, that shit was never gonna go together. It's like it's a personality clash. I don't blame TK. I don't blame Charleston. It's just those two kind of guys were not gonna be able to stand together. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. But Eddie Griffin and Charleston White, now that would be very interesting. I think Eddie Griffin and Charleston White need to work together. I think Eddie Griffin and Charleston White need to work together, and I think Eddie Griffin needs to do the DL Dick Gregory upgrade, because it's time. Enough is enough, man. You're letting the community down by just being a guy that's just ranting to the sky. Like, that doesn't do anything anymore. You have to put it out there, you have to stand on it, and you have to be willing to risk your life behind the shit. And I'm not saying to put yourself in front of a bullet like that. I ain't saying risk your life in that way. I'm saying you got to be willing to stand on, like, if you saying that this is the truth, then you got to be prepared to, like, prove it. You got to be prepared to, like, prove that what you say is real, and what you say is on the level, and what you say is something that people can really, walk behind. It's like, man, I'm just like, I've had enough of people just throwing things up to the sky like they rappers, and this is a strip club. I'm just gonna throw it out into the air, and it's gonna fall down, and it's gonna do something. It's like big business ain't afraid of what you got to say no more. If you're not doing something like a Charleston White, where you're like constantly showing up and saying really, really, really provocative, really, really thoughtful things for like hours at a time in a way that shakes up all of social media. Like, if you ain't doing something like that, in every place that you get, if you ain't doing something like that, man, big business ain't afraid of you. Big business ain't tripping off of you. Big business is laughing at you. The Catholic Church and big business is laughing at you. And I don't want to keep calling out names, but like the conscious community, like that's a joke to big business now. It's like that back when Farrakhan and was big, and when Farrakhan was doing Mike Wallace interviews and making him look stupid, the conscious community was dangerous. But now, Sinetta and all them people, that ain't dangerous. Zoe Williams, you think big business is afraid of Zoe Williams? Think big business is afraid of that? Big business don't give a dang about that. Big business is laughing at that. But like, yeah. So, okay. Let's see here. I got a little time. The Charleston White, Cam Newton, I guess that's his name, interview. I can tell by the way that Cam was conducted the interview that he did not know who he was sitting down with. Like, he had just heard, like he had I've never watched a Cam Newton nothing. I'm not into sports like that. I'm not into Cam Newton like that, especially not after hearing the way that he spoke. I probably will never listen to another one of his interviews ever again. He's one of those staunch Christians. It's like, before he defended Dion for like 50% of the interview, he was really, really trying to get him to like be a Christian the way that he's a Christian. It's like, come on, son. The man already said he believes in Jesus. That's the whole thing in Christianity. Like me, I don't, but like he said that he does. So he just don't want to be called a Christian. But that really bothered him, and he was gonna talk about that like a lot. It's like the fact that he accepted this zombie alien nigga. Like, he said that he accepted the zombie alien nigga as his Lord and Savior. Like, he already said, okay, I accept this zombie alien, this man that don't have an actual daddy, this test tube baby. I accept the test tube baby as my Lord and Savior. He said that. Why ain't that enough for you, Cam? He accepted the zombie. He accepted him. But that wasn't enough for Cam, and he wanted to like really like make him a Christian in the way that he's a Christian, and he was gonna like really belabor the point and like really like make it stick. And I was like, God damn, this nigga is not any kind of interviewer. This motherfucker is arguing with him about the way that he wants to be, you know, spiritual. Like, you want to be religious, Cam, but he wants to be spiritual. It's like, what the hell is the problem? And you know, another thing I want to talk about. I don't know how I'm gonna title this video because Charleston White has a long ass name, and Eddie Griffin. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna title this video, but I'm gonna try to figure out how to put as much shit in the title as I can. But Comedy Hype talked about the Cam Newton Charleston White interview. Cam Newton Charleston White interview. They talked about that. And they didn't talk about nothing that he said. Nothing. Like, Yamanika Sanders is like, man, Yamanika Sanders, man, goddamn, man. You can just tell that this woman is profoundly unhappy. Just a woman she's about as successful as you can be for a fat black woman who ain't all that talented. Like, she ain't really all that talented, but some kind of way people like her. You know, people like vibe with her weird ass personality. So she get all kind of lit. She get all kind of like, she's like a black Amy Schumer. And I don't want to say she's a joke thief, but she's kind of like people just sort of like her, and they just sort of put her in position where she just sort of wins, and she's just gonna win for the rest of her life because she has got the liking lick. She has got a likable lick. Like, she's likable to somebody in power or some group of people in power, and she's hooked up for the rest of her life, and she plugged for the rest of her life. But that's not enough for her. She's like, this woman like still brings up Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels has been dead for how many years now? How many years has Kevin Samuels been dead and she's still bringing his name up like people still follow Kevin Samuels? Kevin Samuels' movement died with him. It died with, like, Kevin Samuels didn't finish his mission. And a lot of people don't understand what Kevin Samuels was trying to do and what Kevin Samuels was about. But, like, there was this channel that I'm going to check out. I'm going to review, like, Kevin Samuels started this conversation, and he was, and the guy would like be behind the camera, and he would interview, different women, and they would have certain kind of discussions. Like, Kevin Samuels was really starting something about communication and talking and dialogue, and a lot of people didn't really appreciate that. But now that he's gone, it's like, this bitter fat woman who is just doesn't really take the time to like intelligently craft, her views together. Is just still mad that man did what he did and wants to bring his name up like that's the fulcrum for all the Yamanika hate, man. You just a woman that's full of bitterness, and you're just a woman that's full of you're just a woman that's full of hate and full of like, full of hate and bitterness, and like, get your life together, man. Go to the gym. What's wrong with you? I mean, you got all the time and money in the world, like eat right and like exercise and Do a glow up, man. If Jennifer Hudson could be Jennifer Hudson and get herself, looking all svelte and fine, even though her feet are jacked up, there's no reason that Yamanika can't, get to be the best version of whatever she can look like. But she don't want to do that. She want to talk about a man who really got natural physical ailments. Like his eye was like naturally bad. He had 7 eye surgeries, and eventually the eye had to come out and he had to get a prosthetic. And when he was a child, he fell into a goddamn washing machine and broke up his legs where he had to be in a full body cast, and you making fun of the way the man looks, and you look like you look just because you don't want to work hard. You ain't shit. Woman, you trash. You trash. You trash. Fuck you. You trash. I mean, I tried to tolerate that bitch, but when she just started talking about the man's appearance and didn't talk about nothing that he was saying, as far as Dion built up the confidence and built up the prestige of a university, and then the first chance he got to just get more money and get his particular son some shine, he left them high and dry. He didn't like Dion. If Dion wanted to, Dion could have said no. He could have got another famous NFL player, like I don't know, like Emmitt Smith. He could have got Emmitt Smith to coach Jackson State. Then he could have left, and Emmitt's the new coach of there, and he's the coach of Colorado. And then that would have been just as hot. But he didn't do that. What Dion did was absolutely 100% selfish, self-centered, and self-serving. And I kind of like Neon Dion. I like, how he always keep a bad chick. I like Dion. In terms of swagger, in terms of pimp energy, but as far as what Charleston White was talking about, yeah, screw Dion. I mean, what Dion did was not for the community. What Dion did was not for the people. What Dion did was for Dion. And I don't give a thing about Dion, just based on what the way that he was crafting that argument. Dion did not position, that university, HBCUs, to win. He did a J-Lo. He did a Pink. He used them to build himself up, and then once he built himself up, he left, and then he left them worse than where he started. There's no question that that's what happened. And I ain't really think about it because I don't give a dang about sports. I don't care about sports like that, so it didn't really matter to me what Dion did. I just kind of like Dion. I like that he got one of the finest women I've ever seen, Pilar. Pilar Sanders, how he pulled that and made her his wife. When I seen Pilar, I was like, damn, how did football player get that? And he stayed pulling cold women. So I like Dion because of that. He pulled cold women. He stay in his vibe. He stay in his stance. But there's no question that Dion is not for the people, that Dion is not a man of the people, that Dion is a man for himself. Dion is just a businessman. And that's why I say I don't rock with business. I rock with community. I rock with the people. I rock with the grassroots. I'm not for business. I'm for humanity. I'm for what Charleston says is he's for his kind. I'm for my people. I'm for black people. That's what I'm for. I'm for human, black first and then humanity, as a whole, I'm for the black race. I'm for the black community. I'm for, black Americans, of course, black American first. And then I'm for, the rest of the diaspora. And I'm for, the human race. I'm for the people. So it's just so. Charleston is doing a good job. Charleston is doing wonderful. I love what Charleston stands for. I love his position. I love that he says sometimes shock jockey, provocative things like, you know, that gets people talking. And I think that he's really doing an amazing job. And I really want to see, Eddie Griffin and Charleston White link up, because Charleston tried to do comedy a little bit, with TK, and it kind of fell off. And I want to see him get back into that. I don't really want to see Charleston as a comedian, but I just want to see him have another stream of revenue, have another way of expressing himself. Like, don't become no D's Just Jokes nigga, Charleston. I don't want to see you be a D's Just Jokes guy. The D's Just Jokes, I'm just joking, I'm not serious. Please don't do that. But find a way to get with Eddie Griffin and see if you can bring him into a new phase of being. Eddie has what Eddie has in him is transformative, man. It's transformative. It's really some other shit. And he ain't letting it out. He is not packaging it. He is not putting it together in a way that it can be received, and in a way that it can be digested, in a way that it can, change the world. Eddie, you need to make an effort to change the world. That is your responsibility, being the man that you are, saying the things you said in that Vlad interview, saying the things that you say on that Funny Money, being the guy that you are. You need to say, look, do I want to change the world or don't I? Do I want to be a guy that just talks about this big business, this thing that's just laughing at me? Or do I want to give the beast indigestion, as Patrice O'Neal would say? It's like, do you want to give the beast indigestion? Do you want to slay the beast? Do you want to put the beast down? And do you want to just make, these snide remarks under your breath to mommy and daddy, and they gotta, tug on their belt and put you in check? Or do you want to stand up and make the powers that be quake in their boots? I think you can learn a lot from Charleston White. I think you can learn a lot from him, and I think you can learn a lot from Dick Gregory, and I think you can stand in a new way. I think you can stand in a new way. I think you can be a better guy. I think you can go about this in a different way, man. I just want the best for you, man. I really do. I really want the best for you, Eddie. You share my name, Eddie Murphy, Eddie Griffin, Edward Anderson. It's there's something special about being named Edward. There's something special about being named Eddie and Edward. There's something special about us, man. And you a July baby too. I think you said you was born July 15th. I'm July 2nd. July 2nd. 2 days before the 4th of July. It's a party when I was born, baby. 2 days before the 4th of July, man. It's magical what us July niggas can do. So please, Eddie, please take it to heart that it's time to transform. It's time to become a new man, and it's time to stand up and say that the beast ain't gonna be allowed. That big business, the thing that destroyed Blockbuster, the thing that got rid of the payphone, the thing that got rid of the payphone, the thing that got rid of Blockbuster Video. We cannot allow them the thing that makes it to where you can buy a laptop, but a laptop does not already have a DVD player included in it, where you can have a car and a car doesn't have a CD player included in it. It's like big business is doing everything in their power to try to destroy the world and get rid of private property and get rid of personal belongings and get rid of privacy. Privacy is very important. privacy is important, and you need privacy. You need property. You need things like that, and they don't want you to have that. They don't want you to have your secret stash. They don't want to have your personal belongings. They don't want you to have like things you like and nobody knows that you like them. They don't like that. They want to know everything you watch, and know everything you see, and know everything you do. Like, and I think you know that, and what you're doing is not at a level that it can be effective. You know that you could be more effective. You know that you could be better, and it's time to be better. It's time to be better, Eddie. It's time to be better. It's time to be better, man. You are too good to be at this level. You're too good, man. You're too good. You're too good. It's time. Enough. Enough, man. Enough, man. It's time to elevate, as somebody I love would say. You know, it's time to elevate. It's time to transform. It's time to go to a higher level. It's time to take it to a higher level. Be like Patrice. Stand firm. Don't wilt. Stand in the line of fire. Stand up to them crackers, and give them hell, man. Give them hell. And Charleston White, man, you're doing an amazing job, man. You're doing an amazing job. You're doing a wonderful job, and I hope that in a year or 2 years or 3 years, when I can build this channel up to like maybe, I don't know, 3 years, if I get a place, if I'm blessed, if God blesses me to get my check and to get it steady and get my place, if God blesses me to have that, about 3 years I should be able to have like, I don't know, 3,500 viewers. 3,500 subscribers. You know, maybe I'll have you on, man, and we can chop it up, and we can talk about all that stuff you talk about, and the mask. Edward, James. If you want to know real quick, if you want to know my proper name is MrMaskman. My proper name is James Mario Maskman. James Mario Maskman. James like James Evans, Good Times, John Amos. Mario like the Super Mario Brothers, Mario Maskman, or James Edward Mario Maskman. James Edward Mario Maskman, the Maskman, MrMaskman. That's my full name. Okay. But yeah, Eddie, do better, transform, become like Dick, become like DL, become like Charleston. Get out there, get involved. Do you want to change the world? Do you want to make the world better, or do you want to yak until you die? You want to yak and then all you're known as is a funny man who died. He was a funny man and he died. Is that all you want to be? Is this your highest aspirations in life? Funny, money, and talked a little bit of shit against the establishment, but never really went toe to toe. Never really went head to head. Never really challenged them crackers. Is that what you want? I don't think that's what you want. I don't think that's why you have all that knowledge you have, why you have all that intelligence you have, why you have all that brilliance you have. I think you have it for a reason, and I'm telling you, it's time to bring it out into the light. It's time. You got the money, you got the prestige, you got the notoriety, and if you don't want to do it all, get with Charleston and like put together like something between you and him. Like there's something special about you, and there's something special about him, and I really think you two need to work together, especially because he worked with TK in particular. He could have went to anybody and tried to get into comedy, but he worked with TK Kirkland. If he worked with TK, then that means there's something really, really special about him, but that just ain't a mix, because TK is a player ass nigga and Charleston White is a popping off at the mouth ass nigga. You could do it better than TK did it. You can do it better. Get with Charleston. Make that shit happen. Do something great. Do great business. Do great work and transform the world. Shake up the establishment. Put big business down, and let's end it there. All right, y'all. It's almost time for the library to open. So I'm going to be chilling out for the rest of the day. And then I'm going to get me a nice little snack, around 7 o'clock. I got to listen to some wax sermon, but, you got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues. It's about time to end this video. So this is MrMaskman channel. This is not Edward J. Anderson Jr. channel. Check out Edward J. Anderson Jr. Edward EDWARD JAYE Anderson ANDERSON capital J capital R. Check out that channel. Check out the Set It Off video, Set It Off picture, Lil Bootsy. Check that video out. Check me out. It's a cute little story about my sweet love, Brittany Williams. Check that video out, please. Check it out. I cannot put that video here. I cannot put that video here. That is only for that channel. It will only ever be on that channel. It will never be on this channel. Okay. It's time for the Beyond the Rap. Let me get out of here. Okay. Oh, gosh. Got me reading like this Viola Davis Monsters Ball Part 2. Edward and Viola Davis Monsters Ball Part 2. Goddamn. And it ain't going to be Monsters Ball. It's going to be a love story. It's going to be a sweet story between an older woman and a younger man. And we just going to have Monsters Ball level love scenes. That's all it's going to be. And I just think Viola Davis is incredibly beautiful, and I want to do some shit like Billy Bob did to Holly. With Viola, the snot bubble queen. So you got me reading my shit, so I got to read my shit. Okay. Y'all have been beyond cruel. Okay, this is the Beyond the Rap. Y'all have been beyond cruel. I am beyond old. I am beyond cold. I am beyond good. I am beyond great. I am beyond straight. I am beyond sweet. I am beyond kind. I am beyond fine. Some like wine. I am the Beyonder, and I am beyond you. I am the Beyonder, and I am beyond you. In honor of Patrice O'Neal, the only man who beat the Reaper. Oh my God. All right, y'all. That's the end of this video. But I'll do the Edward sign-offs too. In the words of Thug Titian, the evil baby mama slayer, the ones who always talk about them raggedy chicks that didn't want to give a man his due, who wanted to rob everything of a man, some evil baby mamas, raggedy single women who didn't do nothing for a man, who wanted to suck the soul out of him. In honor of Thug Titian, Thug Titian, you was a real one. Wherever you're doing, man, your work is not forgotten, man. Your work is not forgotten. He would always end his videos by saying more later. In the words of my chicken wing eating compadre, Daniel Freeman, the creator of the Rise and Grind, How to Make $1 Out of 15 Cents, he would say, next time, partner. And in my words, the judge, bang, bang is the sound of the gavel. Bang, bang is the sound of the gun. So in the words of Thug Titian, more later. In the words of Daniel Freeman, next time, partner. And in my words, the judge, bang, bang is the sound of the gavel. Bang, bang is the sound of the gun. Next time, partner.